What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paddy Pimblett receives warning for Ilia Topuria fight. Paddy Pimblett has long maintained that Scousers don't get knocked out. However, the way Mateusz Gamrot sees things, if Pimblett winds up fighting Ilia Topuria, that theory may not hold up. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Gamrot weighed in on the potential fight, saying that Pimblett's chin-up, hands-down style will be problematic if Pimblett shares the octagon with the champ.
It seems like we're moving towards Ilia versus Paddy for the belt. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Paddy getting the title shot, if in fact it works out that way? And who do you think wins that fight?
Oh, I am surprised because I don't hear that. But yeah, Paddy is the maybe not big name, but media for the media. He's popular, very popular. So maybe that's why he get this fight. Interesting matchup, but I think Topuria will knock him out, because his chin is always high. Topuria, so his BJJ skills is really good against Charles, and sometimes I see his video in the training, so his jiu-jitsu skill is good. I think Topuria will knock him out.
So far, there's been no word if Pimblett will actually get the next title shot. However, this week reports emerged suggesting that Topuria may be on the sidelines until February, depending on how the end of the year shakes out for the UFC. Considering Topuria emerged pretty much unscathed from his fight with Charles Oliveira, the expectation was that he'd likely return to action before the end of the year. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case. In the meantime, there's been no word on when Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, or Arman Tsarukyan will be back in action. Brian Ortega talks about MMA future following health issues. Brian Ortega has long talked about moving up to lightweight, and after a weigh-in scare leading up to his fight against Aljamain Sterling, it sounds like the former title challenger is ready to make the jump up in weight. During an interview with MMA Junkie at the Smashing Machine premiere in Los Angeles, he opened up on the disastrous weight cut, revealing he went into a 30-minute coma and woke up in the hospital before hopping in an Uber and rushing to the weigh-ins. Although the UFC had a backup fighter on standby ready to step in, Ortega decided to show up and weigh in anyway, which led to the viral moment of his on-stage stare-down with Sterling. That's kind of what it is. You just show up and embarrassment. It's a feeling that not too many people have discovered, but it's something that we pay the price for going after our dreams. I took a month off. I'm already jumping back into training, and we're looking for a future venue here, and we're talking about a potential move up to 55, and now we're just looking for the opponent. I can't say nothing, but it's gonna be dope from what I'm hearing. Considering his team is in active talks with the UFC, hopefully we get some news sooner rather than later. Renato Moicano reveals why he didn't accept Charles Oliveira fight. When Rafael Fiziev withdrew from his UFC Rio fight with Charles Oliveira, some fans began to call for Renato Moicano to step in on short notice to give fans an all-Brazilian main event. Instead, Mateusz Gamrot stepped in on short notice. During the latest episode of his Show Me the Money podcast with Gilbert Burns, Moicano explained why he didn't accept the fight, revealing that he hasn't been training because he's been dealing with an eye injury and he's getting over being sick.
Let me be honest, the problem is when a fight like that show up, you want to go. Of course I want to go. Imagine, if I beat Charles in Brazil,
you're a superstar, bro.
I'm a superstar, exactly.
So why not take the risk?
Because I don't want to be giving excuses, but I have an injury. I'm not gonna say, so I'm not training that much, and I got a little bit sick too, especially 5 rounds, and especially because my last fight I got tired, and I didn't have the time to fix, because I have been producing. If you follow me on my Brazilian channel, you're going to see I'm posting every day. I'm doing 6-hour live stream, and at this point, I have to focus on fighting or make content. That's the truth. So see the numbers, bro. I'm doing very well, but that's the problem, because if you stop to doing,
how much money, bro? How much money?
No, I have billionaire. But I have been making good money, and you know why? If I stop to make content, you know how it works. That the algorithm just goes down. So you have to keep going, but once I have a fight, I will stop and I will focus 100% on the fight.
As for the MMA community, they reacted to Renato Moicano's comments by saying the following: "Then why make a video asking for the fight? Gagao. Brother, you're a fighter, not a podcaster. Focus on fighting. Make that money." I think this is just an excuse, because the day after Fiziev pulled out of the fight, he made a video asking Brazilian fans then to go to UFC IG and ask for this fight against Charles. It's time for him to retire. First turning down $250K settlement, then this. He needs a financial advisor. And he was asking for the fight on IG and on his channel. And when Charles said, okay, let's go then, he literally pulled the "it's just a prank bro" card. If I were Dana, I'd cut him right now. You'd rather stream than fight? Ridiculous. New reasons for ducking a fight. Think about my algorithms, bro. Now, Mateusz Gamrot will have a chance to shock the world after stepping in on short notice. During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Gamrot weighed in on the short turnaround for Oliveira following a highlight reel knockout at the hands of Ilia Topuria. My coaches say the same thing. This is a little bit too early, but I'm not his coaches. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. We'll see what happens in the cage. Gamrot also talked about his motivation heading into the fight. Every day I wake up, I'm crying. But the crying, this is my motivation. This is my extra energy. This is everything that I need in my life. This is like motivational crying. I don't have my family here, my kids, but everyone that I talk with is extra vibes, extra energy for me. I think this is the plus. As Gamrot indicated, with a win, he'll catapult himself up the UFC's rankings. UFC updates. Heading into this weekend's UFC 320 card, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with an update on Atiba Gautier's opponent. Following the withdrawal of Ozzy Diaz, UFC newcomer Tristan Vines will step in on short notice. Vines was initially set to fight on the upcoming LFA 219 card next weekend, but instead, he's now making his UFC debut. Additionally, heading into this weekend's card, Patchy Mix indicated that after coming up short in his UFC debut to Mario Bautista, he wants revenge more than he wants to win the UFC title. During an interview with MMA Junkie's Mike Bond, he explained, "I have a lot of respect for Mario Bautista, but what I do know that the winner will probably get the next title shot, and if Mario Bautista does win, all I know is that I'm coming back for that fight, with everything in my body." Next up, we got an update on an Artem Lobov versus Zubaida Tukhugov grudge match, set for this Friday's PFL card. According to reports, the fight has been called off after Lobov sustained a gnarly cut over his eye in training. The PFL then confirmed the news via social media. Artem Lobov versus Zubaida Tukhugov is off Friday's PFL Road to Dubai Champions Series card. Lobov sustained an injury during training and will not be able to fight. So far, no word yet on whether the PFL will look to reschedule the fight. And last but not least, after selling his house for $1.1 million, Sean O'Malley gave his mom a check for $10,000 cash.
What's that?
It's 10,000.
For the bank?
No, for you.
What?
For you.
For what?
For you.
Because you're his mom.
His mommy.
What? Oh. Thank you, honey. You didn't have to do that. I thought it was for rent or something to put in the bank.
No. That's you.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
I lost my train of thought.
You're welcome.
Oh, you didn't have to do that.
I know. Well, you guys have fun. I'm gonna go inside.
Forgot what I was gonna say.
So far, no word yet on when O'Malley will be back in the octagon. Paul Craig talks about fighting Magomed, and Alex Pereira fires back at Magomed's coach. Back in 2018, Paul Craig submitted Magomed Ankalaev with just 1 second left in their 3-round fight. During an interview with UFC on TNT this week, Craig reflected on the fight. For almost 15 minutes, he imposed his will on me. He was very explosive, very strong. At one point, he picked me up in a wrestling takedown and sat me down like a father laying down a baby. He put a hole in my jaw. He fractured ribs. He basically beat me up. And for the next 2 days, I couldn't walk because he destroyed my legs, destroyed my arms. Ahead of Ankalaev's upcoming rematch with Alex Pereira this weekend, Tom Aspinall weighed in on the fight, saying the champion is a bad matchup for Pereira. I think the matchups were quite favorable to Alex Pereira up until Magomed Ankalaev. Just with the threats of the takedown, even in the first fight, we didn't really see Ankalaev really go for the takedowns too much. But I think just the threat being there, stylistically, he's a bad matchup for Pereira. While Aspinall thinks that Ankalaev will get the job done, Dustin Poirier revealed to Mike Bond that he thinks Pereira will get the belt back.
You said you think Alex is a good underdog value pick. Tell me why. Why do you think he wins this fight?
I just think he's danced with this guy before. He wants that title back, and he wants to win. You know, he wants revenge, and he wants to show that that wasn't him in the last fight. There's a lot of reasons why, and I just feel like he's too dangerous of a fighter to go in there and not find that shot this fight.
You think you see it inside the distance knockout?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a TKO or a KO inside the distance.
With fight week underway, Pereira fired back at Ankalaev's coach during Tuesday's media day after his striking was criticized by the champion's coach. Let him think that. He'll be in for a surprise. Whether Pereira can reclaim the title, only time will tell. As we're on the topic of Magomed, he also talked about moving up to heavyweight during an interview last night. Magomed said the following: "Yes, heavyweight is definitely in my future plans. The weight is going up easy. I get to 110 kgs or 242 pounds quick, maybe a couple more fights. After that, I'll definitely move up." Would you be interested in seeing Magomed move up if he defends his belt a couple more times? Merab goes off on Umar Nurmagomedov. Merab may be getting ready to defend his title against Corey Sandhagen, but there's still plenty of lingering beef between the champion and Umar Nurmagomedov. During an interview with MMA Pros Pick this week, the champion took aim at Umar, saying that even after his victory at UFC 311, Umar still hasn't learned his lesson. According to the champ, if the two run things back, it'll be very different. If I have to fight Umar Nurmagomedov next, I'm confident I'll break Umar in the first 1.5 minutes and beat him clean. Our last fight wasn't like that, but I won't let him off so easily in the octagon next time. I'll break him first minute and a half, then drag him around the octagon the remaining 23.5 minutes like a sack. Even after losing, he didn't learn his lesson. Of course, on top of the fact that the champ has to get through Sandhagen this weekend, Nurmagomedov will have to get through Mario Bautista before he's in a position to call for another crack at the title. In the meantime, the champ is enjoying himself with some post-training dancing in his garage gym. UFC Fighter talks about weird fight week for UFC Perth. After a big win on the UFC Perth card this weekend, Tom Nolan joined Ariel Helwani on the Ariel Helwani show this week to discuss the bout. As he explained, things felt different compared to when he fought on the UFC 312 card back in February. Last time here in Perth, the hotels were full of fans. The streets were full of fans. It had that real superstar sort of feel to it. This time, man, it was like a ghost town. There was no one anywhere. You could just go walk at any time and no one would recognize you. It was really relaxing. As a fighter, it was much nicer. From a fan perspective, it was kind of an eerie feeling all week. As Nolan went on to explain, part of the reason the arena wound up being full likely had to do with ticket prices dropping at the last minute following slow sales leading up to the event. The rugby league had its semi-final weekend and it's massive over here, and there's another sport, Aussie Rules AFL, which had its grand final. Especially in Perth, it's huge for the AFL and it was their grand final. There was a lot of people in there, but I think purely because the tickets ended up being so cheap. After rattling off his 4th win inside the octagon, Nolan feels as though he's found his rhythm. "I'm feeling awesome with where my career's at. My confidence is definitely high. I'm just on a roll, to be honest. I'm starting to prove everything I've known about myself to the world. I believe I have so much more to show and so much more to go. I'm only 25, so I've got a long road ahead of me in the UFC. I'm not trying to rush anything." After a big first round win, look for the UFC to give Nolan a step up in competition for his next fight. Dana White makes huge announcement. Earlier today, the UFC teased fans on social media by posting, "Fight news is coming." Dana White will be going live on Instagram later today. After the tweet, Dana White later went live and announced this.
"We are headed to Doha, Qatar, November 22nd at the ABHA Arena. And the main event will be the number 2 ranked lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan taking on number 6 ranked Dan Hooker. And as you know, Arman won 9 of his last 10 fights. He's got wins over Oliveira, Dariush. He's on a 4-fight win streak. The guy is a dangerous dude. He's taking on Dan Hooker, whom you guys love. And he's always looking for a finish, always in there to dog it out and fight his off. One of the most beloved guys in the sport. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Co-main event is going to be former champ and number 1 ranked contender Belal Muhammad taking on the number 6 ranked Ian Gary. Muhammad went on an 11-fight win streak to earn the welterweight title, and he's looking to get back with a win over Gary. Now, Gary coming off an impressive win over Carlos Pradas. He has become that guy that is literally down to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Every time we call him, he takes a fight, doesn't give a shit who the opponent is. So there you have it. November 22nd at the ABHA Arena in Doha, Qatar. Our first time ever there. I'll be there. I'll see you there. Tickets are on sale Friday on the Platinum list. All right? All right. Have a great day, everybody. Good talking to you.
we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.